Hi everyone, it's me Anna. Welcome to today's video. I just recently posted a video about my updated physical TBR, book haul and all of that, and I thought it'd be a good idea to actually talk about my digital TBR too, specifically my Fable TBR, because I don't really use Goodreads anymore. I switched to Fable a year ago or like a year and a half. And so I just keep adding more and more books to this TBR, and I've decided to just kind of clean it out. I don't want this video to be like an hour long, so I don't think I'm gonna show you every single book on this list. But yeah, we're gonna go through as many books as we can because there's around 154, yeah, actually 154 books. A lot of reads to go through. The first book here is Water Moon. I'm going to remove every book or almost every book that I keep seeing everywhere, because when I keep seeing one book again and again and again, I just think that it's hard for me to forget about this book, hard for me to forget the fact that I want to read it, you know? Well, speaking of Water Moon, I keep seeing this book everywhere, honestly, and I also don't think I'm leaning towards this book right now, so we're probably gonna remove it. I think we'll go from the top of the list. So the book I most recently added to my TBR is The Arcane Arts. I don't think I want to remove it just yet. I want to read it. Obviously, why would I add books that I don't want to read? But anyway, no, actually sometimes it happens. Sometimes I think that I want to read this book, but then the next day I'm like, what was I thinking? This is not my type of literature at all. But anyway, this book, The Arcane Arts, is a dark academia romantasy. We follow a girl who starts studying dark magic in order to investigate into her sister's death. I've heard that the vibes are pretty much Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I like Ninth House, so that is Arcane Arts. We're gonna leave it. Daughter of Crows. Okay, Daughter of Crows. I have no idea what this is about. Let's actually read the premise together because I'm very curious about this book. I just like the cover and I assume it's fantasy and I like fantasy. The Academy of Kindness exists to create agents of retribution cast in the image of the Furies, known as the Kindly Ones, against whom even the gods hesitate to stand. Each year, 100 girls are sold to the Academy. 10 years later, only 3 will emerge. The Academy's halls run with blood. The few that survive its decade-long nightmare have been forged on the sands of the Wound Garden. They have learned ancient secrets and the necrotic fumes of the Bone Garden. Only the most desperate would sell their child to the Kindnesses, but Rue, I guess her name is, she sold herself, and now a lifetime later, a long and bloody lifetime later, just as she has discovered peace, war has been brought to an old woman's doorstep. That was a mistake. Very chaotic, very confusing. As always, I think every time I read the premise of a fantasy book, it leaves my mind immediately. What did I just read? I don't know. There's like an academy, a war. I don't know what's happening, but it sounds interesting, maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this book. Cleopatra, historical fantasy, maybe. I'm not sure, but I've heard it's very addictive. Obviously, Egypt themed. And I've been wanting to read something Egypt-themed for a long time. War D, a thriller. I don't think I've read anything like this before. The Last Contract of Iseko. Okay, this is Fondeli's newest release. I haven't read a Fondeli book yet, but I have Jade City on my shelf. I'm just about to get to know this author and her writing and her style and her books, so I'm very excited to read Jade City, and if I like that trilogy, then I might read The Last Contract of Iseko. This is like a space opera, right? Yeah, we'll see. If I don't like Jade City, probably I'll remove this book from the list, but hopefully I like it. Upgrade by Blake Crouch. It sounds interesting. This is a sci-fi thriller or something like that about modified DNA. Someone whose DNA has changed. His body, his mind, his brain capacity, all of those things have improved. Sword Catcher by Cassandra Clare. Okay, I know that Cassandra Clare has a huge universe, or maybe she has more than one. I've been recommended The City of Bones. The Sword Catcher is a trilogy as far as I know. It's not connected to The City of Bones. I don't know what it's about, I've just heard great things about it, and I've been really curious about Cassandra Clare as an author. So yeah, if you're familiar with her books and her writing, let me know what you think. The Count of Monte Cristo is a classic, right? No, it's about our main character's revenge. It's a long book and it's a classic. I don't really read classics actually, so this is very out of my comfort zone, but I would like to try. I would like to try because it sounds interesting and it sounds like a book that might really impact me. I just want to read a very long, emotional, and impactful book again. The Kingdom of Bags sounds good. It's a historical fiction with magical realism, maybe. So it has to do with music. And we love music and we love books about music. Born with a gift for music, our character has just one wish: to be remembered forever. But even as she delights audiences with her masterful playing, she has little hope she'll ever become the acclaimed composer she longs to be. She is a young woman in 18th century Europe, and that means composing is forbidden to her. That sounds... yeah, I want to read it. I don't even want to read that premise. I want to read that book. The Lord of Mysteries Clown by Cuttlefish That Loves Diving. A very interesting name for an author. I believe this is fantasy, and as far as I can tell, it's a duology. Where's the synopsis? Sorry, or the premise? No premise? Okay, no premise. But anyway, looking at the cover, like the world itself, or what it looks like at least, kind of reminds me of Blood Over Brighthaven. I don't know if it's close to Blood Over Brighthaven. I have no idea, but yeah, I might read that book. Okay, The Catcher of Souls sounds cool because it's some kind of a horror fantasy, I think, or something gothic. Sebastian Blackmore has two obsessions: concocting poisons and hunting down individuals whose unnatural powers go against the will of the crown. But when a killer known only as Jack the Ripper leaves a trail of dissected women in Whitechapel slums, Sebastian finds himself seeking a different sort of prey. The title sounds cool too. The Young Will Remember. Okay, this one, I am actually not sure it's right up my alley, but this is a historical fiction. It's about women and war, getting lost and finding your people and just helping each other. I kind of want to read it, but at the same time, I'm really not sure I like it. So I'm on the fence about keeping this book on this list, but maybe, okay, we're gonna keep it for now. Artemis, though, I already own, so we can confidently remove it. You Did Nothing Wrong. I heard a lot of things about this author, and You Did Nothing Wrong, it's her newest release. It's a horror, and all I know about it is that we follow a family as they move into this new house. So this house is kind of like alive. At some point, it starts talking to the kid. It's very creepy, but also kind of moody and atmospheric. Sounds good to me. I've never read this author, but I want to keep this book. The Diviners, yes. I haven't seen a single physical copy of this book, unfortunately, because it sounds so good. It's a gothic fantasy, but we're set in New York City in 1920s. A young woman discovers her mysterious powers could help catch a killer in the first book of the Diviners series. A stunning supernatural historical mystery. Supernatural historical mystery. That just sounds good to me. I do want to read it, but I don't know where to find this book because I haven't seen it anywhere. Wuthering Heights. I've never read this book. I haven't seen any of the movies either. And I'm gonna remove it for now because I just don't think this is my type of book. I'm gonna remove it. Yeah. To Dream in Darkness. This book comes out this fall and it's by Anne Liang, who wrote A Song to Drown Rivers, a Chinese historical fantasy or like magical realism, more like magical realism than fantasy. But that book is just one of my favorite reads of all time and I loved it so much. And she also has a lot of like cool romances. I read one romance slash magical realism again by her and I didn't like it, not really. So I don't want to read her other romances. But To Dream in Darkness, I think is gonna have a very similar vibes to A Song to Drown Rivers. The writing style, I think, is gonna be like in A Song to Drown Rivers, so I'm very excited about this book. It's gonna be, I think, a romantasy, an Asian-inspired romantasy. I don't know when I'll be able to get this book though, because where I live, we don't have any books from this author, so I don't know. And I don't like reading ebooks because my eyes just get too tired. But I really, really want to read this book so bad. I just hope that I'll be able to find it once it comes out. Finding Grace. I've heard that a very like crazy thing happens at the very beginning of this book that just catches you off guard, even though it really happens at the very beginning of the story, on like page 5 or something, or like in the first chapter at least. It's lit fic, I think. Again, I'm just not sure it's my type of book, so I'm gonna remove it for now. Carrie Soto is Back. Oh, by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about a tennis player, I think. I realized that I really like stories about sports in general, about competition. And I really want to read a book like that. So this is about a tennis player and I think I will like this book if I ever get my hands on it. Because again, I've never seen it here. I don't know if I'll ever read it, but I would like to, definitely. Verity, we can remove it because I already own that book. An Ember in the Ashes. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. It's a gothic fantasy series, you know. The Ascended, a dark fantasy. Yeah, let's skip it for now. Athos 2643, something about space, like a sci-fi. Don't remember what it's about, but when I heard the premise for the first time, it sounded really cool. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. Immortal Game. This is a fantasy based on chess, and that sounds so unique to me. But the thing is, I've tried reading a book by this author, Alison Saft, and I DNF'd it actually. I didn't like it at all. It was fine, but it was just really boring. And I DNF'd it. I don't know if I should keep this one, but let's keep it for now, maybe. Because like it's a fantasy based on chess. I just can't remove it now. Starling House. Gothic horror fantasy. Yeah, sounds good. The Everlasting. First it sounded really good to me. Now I've heard enough people talk about this book. The reviews are actually so different. A lot of people love this book, a lot of people hate it, but those who hate it, their hatred toward this book seems quite reasonable to me. And I feel like I wouldn't love this book either for those reasons. I know it's very subjective and I shouldn't decide whether or not to delete this book from this list because of someone else's opinion, but I just, you know, I've heard a lot of things, a lot of different things about this book, and I've come to think that I don't need it here. Red City, fantasy, yeah, let's skip it. I heard this is a good one. Vampires in the Lemon Grove. I don't know, probably not. Probably not. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I feel like V-Swap is just not for me. And again, I keep seeing this book literally everywhere, so if I ever want to read it, I won't just easily forget about this book. Yeah, we can remove it. The Making of June Farrow, we're gonna keep this one. Romance with magical realism, Stoneblind, yes. The Fox Wife, Chinese fiction. The Vegetarian, nope. Not anymore. Unholy Holes, yeah, Dark Academia vibes. The Girl with No Reflection, maybe. Immortal, I have no idea what this is, and I don't want to know. The Safe Keep, no idea. This is a new series by this author who wrote An Ember in the Ashes, and An Ember in the Ashes is supposed to be read before air, so we can remove it. Praiseworthy, the premise sounds so bizarre, but I'm not sure I want to read it. No Longer Human, yes. The Man Who Died 7 Times, actually, maybe, okay. Witchcraft by Wayward Girls, nope. Blue Sisters, maybe we'll give it a try one day. If it makes you happy, Small Town Single Dad Romance, no. The Midnight Shift, this is a Korean vampire mystery. I feel like this is not really, like, it does have vampires obviously, but it's more of a just like a thriller. The Final Girl Support Group, okay. Shield of Sparrows, again, this book is everywhere, so I can't remove it from here. I don't need it. I don't need a reminder of this book. The Will of the Many, let's keep it. Again, yes, it's quite popular, so why not just remove it? But I'm gonna keep it here because I want to get into the series, but I'm just scared. This whole series just seems a little bit intimidating. Mortal Consequences, another YA series. I don't want to read this. By Broken Blades, probably not. A little bit long. I don't want to get into a long series now. A Sunny Place for Shady People. At first I thought it sounded interesting, but then I found out that this is actually a short story collection. I don't want to read a short story collection now. Not my type of thing. The Floating World, some fantasy. Yes, let's skip it. I heard good things. Hell Followed With Us. Don't remember anything about it, but I remember being just so curious about it. Yeah, when I just first heard of it. Small Favors. Don't know what this is. Hazelthorn, a horror. It was written by the same author who wrote You Did Nothing. I would rather read that book than Hazelthorn. That one sounds more appealing to me. Master of Death, Recursion by Blake Crouch, sci-fi. The Possession of Alba. Yes, I want to read this. Metal Slinger. No, I don't want to read this. The Killing Moon, probably not. I don't even know what this is anymore. Yeah, vampire book. I want to read more vampire books. I don't know how to pronounce this. By Carrie Lake. So I've tried Anathema by her. DNF'd it. Yeah, wasn't the best read for me, obviously. Even though, yeah, I didn't finish it, but still. I DNF'd it. So that's probably the reason why I feel hesitant about her other books. But this one is gothic fantasy with a romance. It has to do with necromancy, I think. It's just so dark. Maybe I'll give this author another chance. Who knows? Set in Drowning. Let's keep it. To the Moon, a Korean novel. A Day of Fallen Night. I think this is a prequel, yeah? That huge dragon fantasy. I actually don't know if we want to read it anymore. Let's remove it from now. I also heard that reading the first original novel is better. Like, starting with that book is better than starting with the prequel. Heavenly Bodies, no. Letters from the Shihodo Stationery Shop. I remember the premise sounded really interesting. An Asian novel that is very short, quick and easy to read. Out of the Easy. Oh, this is Ruta Sepetys. I read one book by her. I would like to read more books from her. So Out of the Easy is another historical fiction by her. The Fountains of Silence. Again, a historical fiction from this author set in Spain. The Throne of Broken Gods, I've DNF'd this series, so no. The Jasad Heir, or the Jasad Heir, an Egyptian-inspired fantasy duology. Sounds good. The Exorcism of Fairies, a dark academia romance. Yeah, Voice of the Ocean. Yeah, something with mermaids. I haven't read many fantasies about mermaids. Blood of a Bright Haven. Done. Already done. Shadow and Bone. No. What the River Knows, an Egyptian-inspired fantasy. The Convenience Store by the Sea. You know what? I don't really like this sea setting. Sea vibes, I guess. Breast and Axe. I don't want to read this anymore. The Conditions of Will. I guess this is about a family. Contemporary fiction. Blood and Betrayals. Yeah, fantasy. My Friends. Not anymore. I've read Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Didn't love it. Our Infinite Fates. I don't think I want to read this anymore, even though I loved Silver Cloak by this author, but yeah, let's just remove it for now. Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. Why did I add it here? I don't know. Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, I've been considering getting into this Cosmere. Yeah, is it called Cosmere? If I decide to do that, I'm probably gonna start with Mistborn. The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. No, it's like a very spicy romance series, which is not my type of thing. Quicksilver, again, not my type of thing. Novelist, okay, there's like a bunch of Haruki Murakami books. I don't know why I added all of these here, because I'm a Haruki Murakami fan. Like, I do want to read all of his fiction books, and I just don't need them on my digital TBR. I always remember about Haruki Murakami. Sorcery and Smaller Magic, cozy fantasy. I'm afraid I might just get really bored reading this, so probably not. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Finney. I read My Husband's Wife by Alice Finney. Didn't love it, but it was fun, and I think I'm still pretty much intrigued by Rock, Paper, Scissors, so yeah, I want to read it. An Academy for Liars, a fantasy set, an academy. Yeah, why not? The Lost Bookshop. I don't want to read it. Paprika, A Curse of Crows. Geisha Alive. I remember I was on this Japanese literature kick after rewatching one of my favorite movies, Memoirs of a Geisha, and when I rewatched that movie, I really wanted to read a lot of books like that, but I realized that there's a lot of books about geishas and samurais, but they're like mostly non-fiction. Actually, I have one. It's not about geishas, but it's set in Japan many years ago, about Japan's history with America and all of that. And that book is fiction, but the writing style really reminded me of non-fiction, and that just kind of threw me off, to be honest. I DNF'd that book in the end. It was fiction, but felt like non-fiction. We can remove them, I think, because I don't think it's easy to find them here anyway. Ready or Not, Anathema by Carrie Lake. DNF'd that one. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, maybe, but maybe not. I'm just not in the mood for this type of book anymore. And it's quite popular anyway, so Daughter of No Worlds. I'm gonna keep it. Ripped from a forgotten homeland as a child, she learned how to survive with nothing but a sharp wit and a touch of magic, but the night she tries to buy her freedom, she barely escapes with her life. Desperate to save the best friend she left behind, she journeys to the Orders, the most powerful organization of magic wielders in the world, but to join their ranks, she must complete an apprenticeship with this person, a handsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the Orders. Seems like a fun romantasy, and I kind of want to read more fun romantasies. And the last series that we have on the TBR is Spark of the Everflame. We can remove the rest of the series though, because we only need the first book on our digital TBR, right? This is actually one of the books that I plan to read in 2026. I don't know if I still want to read it in 2026 though, but I was planning on doing that a few months ago. Now we have 58 books. We removed a lot of reads and I'm happy about that. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any books on your digital TBR or your physical TBR, and I will see you in the next video.